Hey guys, how you doing you all? In this video we are going to see part 1 of What If Deku Trained by Monkey D. Dragon and Mastered Haki. And please do check out story named Rise of the New Marine Hero One Piece X MHA by DENIZSARA 132. And I have Patreon page where I make adult and uncensored version. Latest post is about Deku got Starfire's fresh kitty, so if you are an adult then do check out. And make sure to leave a like, share and subscribe. Let's get into the video. This world is harsh, cruel, no one never really knows what dangers it really possesses, what monsters lurks in its shadows. In this black and white looking world, heroes and marines are doing their best to keep the world a safer place for everyone, but it is not changing the fact that it's far from safe. Izuku's POV. All I remember for my real family is that they were just lying there, as their white uniforms were covered in blood, along with other marines that were just killed brutally. The room was smelly, and there was a storm outside. As the cruise ship is just sitting in the middle of the ocean, I was able to hear the sound of the monster lurking outside. There were blood on the windows that made the room darker. Plus, from the only spot that the light comes, I was able to see its figure. It was long, huge. It was doing nothing but circling outside, flying around the shipwreck. It was already divided in half thanks to its fire blast. Its blue scales and yellow belly, the black mustache was the most terrifying I have ever saw. What was worse was its face. It was not angry or even full of bloodlust. It was happy, it was having fun. Does it even know what it was doing? The dragon blasted another fire to the part of the ship, completely destroying it. Then it looked at me. I had to get out of here and get to somewhere else that's safe. I left the room and tried to run the other side of the wreckage. I thought it was going to shoot another one at me as well. But something odd happened. It came down and transformed, turned into a human. And landed on the ship. He was huge. Maybe 8 meters high, like a giant of sort of. He had horns like the devil, he was wearing a black coat with feathers. He had tattoos on his left arm. He was very muscular and thick. His arms were thicker than me, and his hands looked like they could grab me and squeeze me like Play-Doh. I looked down at me. Ignore the other guys and put little Izuku there. I was paralyzed and crying. I only felt fear and more fear. He was just looking at me with a blank face. Can I beat this villain? How? What can I do? He could just eat me whole. I was thinking, but then I saw the scar on his stomach. Wait, are those scars? Did someone actually hurt this thing? Is it really possible? What should I do? What would mom and dad do? They would try to fight back. To save people, to save me. LL like a hero. I hold my breath and blow at the man as hard as possible. As the green flames came out of my mouth and hit its pants. Nothing happened. He just looked at me with confusion. Hick. What are you doing? Are you trying to pick a fight with me? Wait. Hick. You look familiar. Who you look just like those weaklings. Hick, are you trying to take me down? Do you think you are a marine or one of those hero fools? Izuku. I am going to be a marine. Just like my parents were. Will take. I will take you down. I shouted that as I was crying. He just looked at me annoyed. He then did something that shocked me. I was paralyzed again. I could not move. It was covered with this black-red lightning. I was ready for the worst as he just looked at me confused. I swear I used that to knock this kid out. Why is he still glaring at me? Whatever. Shit, I am sobering up. Well, got to go back to drinking. As I flied back to Onigashima, I just looked back at the ship. Well, that brat is dead. No way he will live. He will just starve to death. Well, whatever. But it is annoying that he was able to attack me like that. What did he think that he could do hurt me with that weak quirk? Izuku's POV. What am I gonna do? I am glad that it just left, but. Narrator's POV. As he went back to the control room where he was hiding, he entered the room, moved around the corpses of other marines, he looked at the dead bodies of his parents, as he was falling on his knees, he started crying. Crying so much that his tear glands could dry. He was all alone in this shithole with every person he has ever knew and loved were dead. Some time has passed. He started to wander around the ship as he was looking for something to eat. He managed to find a few days worth of food, but he knew that was not enough. He knew he had to survive to make the dragon pay for what he did. 1. Izuku's POV. A day have passed. I am lucky that I managed to find the kitchen. It is somewhat intact. I need a knife. It could be in one of the drawers. Grrrgrrrrrr. Ugh, I am hungry. Is there food here? As I went what looks like a fridge and opened it to see it has some food left. Rest of it was not edible because of the fight that just happened. I grabbed one of the meat that is still edible. And tried to cook it with his fire powers as much as possible. Now I needed a fishing rod. Thank God my dad taught me how to catch fish. After 3 hours I managed to find one. I needed bait. But I couldn't find any. I got an idea, but I did not want to do that. I searched for more, but it was no avail. At last I had to do the one idea that I hated and use the pieces I carved from some of the corpses as bait. My hands were shaking. I slowly approached as tears was slowly forming on my eyes. I was completely burned with barely any skin and muscles. I don't want to do this, but I have to. I am sorry, I am sorry, I am sorry, I said crying. I closed my eyes and I carved some of the meat left from the corpse. My hands were shaking. I finally opened my eyes to see the tiny piece of meat I looked at. It was not much to begin with. But was this enough? Would it work? It was now the night time. It was cold. Very, very cold. I managed to find a place to sleep. I grabbed some wood or anything I could burn as I set a campfire. I instantly fall asleep thinking what could I do tomorrow to survive. A week has passed. Izuku was alone in the boat. He was trying to catch some fish with a fishing rod he managed to find. It was very fortunate that he found that. Even better that he had a fire quirk. He did not touch the corpses. He was used to moving around them at this point. He also got used to the smell. As he was cooking he heard a sound. He was the only person alive in the ship, so it would be impossible for someone to make a sound. He began to fear for the worst. Maybe he was back to finish the job. Or was it someone else? No, it was impossible. The monster was the only one that knew he was there. He grabbed his knife that he managed to find from a corpse. As he started to move to the side of the ship where the sound came, he saw a group of men with black armor with helmets covering their faces. They were armed with swords and guns. There were also a logo on their belt that looked familiar. However, he could not see it fully. He decided to hide and wait. One of them decided to walk next to him. At that moment he decided to attack with the knife he had in his hand. Assuming it could pierce the armor. Since it did not look very hard from far. Boy, he was wrong. Plus. 1. Wait, a kid. There are survivors. 2. Why is he attacking us? 1. Isn't it as obvious? Look at our gear. 2. The blade broke in the spot and it cut his hand. He noticed the blade that man had and tried to grab it. At that moment the man grabbed his hand. Izuku yelled and blasted him with green fire, then used a telekinesis to grab the knife he was carrying. He managed to stab the guy with the knife because the knife was very durable compared to previous one. However, the man seemed like he did not even flinched. As he looked at the knife he saw that it was just air. The man managed to take his knife back and throw it away. Man put his hand up to reach Izuku. Izuku fell back thinking he failed and small tears started to form thinking it was it. But at that moment something he absolutely did not expect had happened. He hugged the scared boy. 1. It is all going to be okay, Izuku. You are safe now. Izuku. How do you know my name? 1. You look just like your mother. The man then moved his hand to remove his mask. He was a man that looked like he was in his mid-30s. He had long spiky hair that was as dark as coal. It was quite messy. He had a small beard on his chin. His eyes were black and most notably he had a tattoo in the left side of his face. A big square-like tattoo. 1. It is me, Izuku. I am Monkey D. Dragon, do you remember? I am a friend of your father. And your godfather. Izuku was trying to process all of this. After about half a minute he remembered the man with his dad. They worked together, right? Izuku, you Uncle Dragon, why you? That why you? Izuku was crying while saying this. He finally got rescued. He was crying a lot while hugging him. Dragon grabbed him and immediately took him to the ship that he came with. It was a bit far away, but thanks to his wind quirk he managed to get back quickly. There they have been welcomed by other marines with white coats. Izuku. It was a monster. A blue dragon appeared. It was huge. He attacked us. Dragon. We will talk about this later, just rest here. Don't worry, you will be safe. 1. Dragon. Take this kid to the doctor. Now. With a very serious face. I will be back, Izuku. For now let them take you to the medic's office. Hina, you look after the kid. Smoker, you are coming with me to the ship. Everyone else. Prepare the rescue boats. I want every person with rescue or evacuation quirks on that ship. Those who specialize in combat, make sure the area is safe. Enough people have suffered. 2. Yes sir. As the crowd of marines and heroes shouted. Dragons POW. 1. I can't believe kids survived that. A blue dragon, there is only one blue dragon that I know. Kaido. That jerk, how can he do this to these innocent people? Huh. Comms. Dragon. What is it, Kuzan? 1. Kuzan. Well, I got good news and bad news. Dragon. Tell me the bad news first. Kuzan. I am not sensing any life force. That kid might be the only person left alive. But this ship should still be checked. Well, the good news is. I managed to find some working cameras and recordings. I know who did this. But you will not like who? Dragon. You do not need to tell me that. I already know that it was Kaido. Kuzan. How? Dragon. The kid told me. He said that there was a blue dragon that is almost as big as this ship and then it turned into a huge man. There is only one villain that can do that, as long as I know. Well, did you at least find some other information about why he would attack out of nowhere? Kuzan. Well, I will keep searching. However, this ship was not carrying any important cargo. Only civilians and modestly skilled officers along with a couple dozen pro heroes. Ah shit, I almost forgot, one more bad news for you. I found their bodies. Well, they were on the observation room. Well, what is left of them at least. I am going to check the passenger details as well in case we were missing something. Dragon. Yeah, I see. I will be there in 2 minutes now. The rescue boats will be there in 20. I need to see them. Let's get this shit done once and for all. Kuzan. Alright. 2 minutes passed. I landed on the shipwreck once again. I went to the observation room. It was blown away from the outside. The walls were melted from the heat. The heat caused the roof to collapse and cover some part of the hull. The classes were covered in blood. Most likely because when the roof collapsed it crushed the people in it, causing their blood to splash all over. The cremated corpses were everywhere. They were most likely the ones that took the blow head on. As I walk in the room, I saw at least 2 corpses that I knew. One of them was burned and the other one was crushed. The burned one was my good friend and subordinate, Commodore Hisashi Midoriya. He was always a good soldier. Ready for battle, brave, his fire-breathing quirk was not really powerful, but he was countering it with his close combat skills and his surprisingly great affinity with Haki. He looked like he was coughing blood. I do remember that if he uses his quirk too much he cough blood a lot. Did he try to fight of Kaido in a fire-breathing fight? Or at least hold him off? The other one was his wife Lieutenant Inko Midoriya, Hisashi's wife and Izuku's mother. She was beautiful, kind, caring, loved and respected by everyone around her. Unlike many of her colleague lieutenants, she was a bit of a pacifist. She did not like battle and she always aimed for saving people rather than hurting them. But that was exactly what made her the person she was. The best thing about her was she was not afraid of shedding tears, unlike many marine officers who were trying to act tough in hard situations. Her innocence was what made Hisashi fall in love with her. She was under the rubble, she was crushed under the roof, no. She is too powerful for that. As I got on the roof I saw dents and barely scorch marks. The dent was really big. It was like something big and pointy hit it. Like a claw, ah shit. Kuzan. Dragon, I think found something, you might want to come here. Dragon. Where are you? Kuzan. I am in the command room. I managed to find some other recordings. My god. You should see this. Plus. Dragon. I am coming. In the command room, as my friend Kuzan was standing in front of me. I was watching the footage, I saw Kaido looking like he was having fun. Was he even doing? I grew more and more pissed as I saw the people trying to fight back. He was not even trying to attack them directly and his aim was off. Then I heard a sound of him burping. Dragon. He seems too distracted and happy. Wait. Did he just burped? Don't tell me this jerk did all this because he was drunk. I punched the wall, causing it to fall down. That jerk was just causing trouble left and right, not caring for the life of innocent at all. I was still holding my fist, then I saw blood between my fingers. Kuzan. Wow, cool down there. I am also angry, but at this point you gonna destroy the ship, what is left of it anyway. I am going to check the ship logs. I don't want to believe the fact that this is really just a random occasion. Dragon. True, if this was just bad luck we would have received a distress call the moment he attacked. Been here sooner, but we never got an SOS. We are only here because the ship was supposed to be in Japan about 3 days ago. Even if the ship would have been attacked by pirates, they would have made it. This ship is decently armed. Moreover, it was full with at least 300 marines with over 50 pro heroes. Plus Hisashi is very skilled fighter, if you gonna ask me he should have been a rear admiral already. Kuzan. I will call cranes to take the ship back to the headquarters. We must investigate every bit with every detail. I will also call a submarine, some important pieces could sink to the bottom. As we talked the boat have arrived. Marines and heroes started to check on whoever was alive, as well collect the bodies. Some of the boats were already full of corpses. It only showed that the chance of someone else found alive was quite low. I sighed as I decided to retune to the ship since there is nothing I could do here now. I thought that I should check on the kid. Dragon. I will return to the ship and check on Izuku. The kid will need me. I may be the only person left that he knows, or trust for that matter. If you find anything else tell me in the meeting room. Kuzan. Got it, I will inform you. Kid been through enough, what are you gonna do with him after this? Dragon. I don't know. We will see. I said and I left the wreck. I was on my way to my flagship. 20 minutes ago Izuku's POV. After uncle left, a pink-haired lady grabbed me, lifted me up and took me to the doctor's room. There I saw an old woman with a white marine coat with grey long hair. She looked old but also slim and energetic. Then she began talking. "Oh sweetie, come here, I will check your body for any injuries, okay?" As I started to do as the woman asked, her hand started to glow and the eye was healing, relaxed and happy. I was covered in water and soap. But it felt warm and good, so I did not react it. After 10 minutes, I looked clean and I felt refreshed. The pain was gone. Then she gave me some candy and turned on a cartoon. As I was watching and eating, she took a blood sample from me and proceeded to examine it. I was lying on a bed. Another 20 minutes have passed and I saw Uncle Dragon enter the room. Pav. Izuku. Uncle. Dragon. Kid, how are you feeling, are you okay? Suru-san, is he okay now? Suru. Yes, she is fine now, his body is really weakened and he is lacking some vitamins and minerals, but I am gonna give some medications. Try not to shake the kid too much, after all he has been through enough. 1. As she said that with a dead glare, despite knowing that Dragon was his superior. That look was something literally all Marines feared, no matter the rank they had or how powerful they were. Dragon. I know, but I also need answers. So I have to do this. Suru, you. Fine, but I am also going to be listening. Dragon. Alright. Izuku, come here. I will be asking some questions to you, alright? Izuku. Oh okay uncle. Dragon. Can you tell me exactly what happened with you and that dragon? Are there anyone else? Also, how did you manage to survive all by yourself? Suru. Blue Dragon. Wait. You encountered Kaido. Izuku stopped for a moment. Tears began to form on his eyes, remembering everything that happened. There were villains. Many villains, but Dad defeated them easily. Then the thunder, the storm and the DD dragon appeared. Dad fought, but he was no match. I tried to attack him with my quirk, but I was weak. That last comment shocked both of them. This little kid actually tried to attack Kaido. Something even some of the best Marines and heroes failed. Suru. You attacked Kaido and he let you go. That shouldn't be possible, he is a brute that kills anything. Izuku. I yelled that I was going to take him down. He just looked at me with a glare. There was red lightning around him. Then transformed left. Dragon, what, you didn't faint after that? Izuku. And know why? You know what that was? What was that? At that moment both Suru and Dragon looked at each other completely shocked. But then Izuku started to cry as he remembered what he had to do to survive. Izuku, I searched for some food, I also was fishing my own. But there were no bait. I found a knife. I see carved bait from Titha. He was crying while saying this. Dragon and Suru stopped him before he continued. Dragon sat down and looked at him in the eye. Dragon. It is okay kid. You did what you had to do, you are alive thanks to that. And there is no need to feel ashamed or guilty for that, okay? Izuku, but that was not hero or marine like. Dragon. A kid at your age should not worry about it. Don't worry, you did what you had to, like I said. That does not make you any less of a hero. It only shows that you are willing to what it takes, and it was brave of you. If there were other people alive with you, would you help them or would you do this for them as well? Izuku. I would. I want to be a marine like my parents. I want to save people like they did. I want to defeat monsters like that to keep people safe. Dragon said nothing, he only grinned. He was happy. Despite everything, this kid was still willing to be a hero and was considered. He wasn't broken. Hell, maybe he was even more determined. Then why don't you start living with me from now on? I will be your guardian, I will also train you to be the best hero or marine. What do you say? Izuku looked at him. With a smile he nodded his head. Dragon. Then it is a deal. I will take you to the headquarters with me, then I will introduce you to someone. Have you ever heard of Garp the Fist? Marine hero and vice admiral. Izuku. Yeah, he is so cool. He beats everyone with one punch, his fists are the hardest thing in the world. I heard that he even trained All Might. The strongest pro hero and the symbol of peace, who is the reason for Japan to have a crime rate of 6%. 2. Dragon. Well, that old man is my father. He is currently training my son to be Marines. Unfortunately his training is a bit brutal. And, well, to be honest, those kid could some friends or a sparring partner, since because of his training, he could not made many friends. His name is Luffy. And he is a split image of my father. He is currently 5 years old. I think he is a bit older than you. Izuku. Yeah, that sounds awesome. I want to meet him, maybe we will become friends. Dragon. Or even sworn brothers. You never know. Dragon said it with a grin. Alright, for now just rest for the rest of the day. I will talk with a friend of mine now. See you later kid. As Dragon said this he left. Hello guys, in this chapter 1 would like to talk about some things about this series. First of, Izuku will not be a student in UA, but he will be like a teacher. He will still interact with the students like they were his friends, but he will not be in the regular classes. Also he will sometimes go to his own missions. There will be flashbacks about his past. The Marines and heroes will have friendly rivalry as organizations. Hero courses are more popular, but Marines are way stronger. It is like heroes are the easy mode and Marines are the hard mode. All Might will be the strongest hero in Japan, but not the strongest person in the world. That are a lot of people stronger than him. Like admirals and emperors. And others. His powers. Quirk. Haki. Rokushiki. Physical powers. His quirks. He will have the stronger version of both his parents' quirks, but not as fused, but as separated. His quirks will also be mutated as father's quirk. Fire breath. He can breath red, sometimes if he combines it with Haki black fire. First quirk. Dragon fire. It is a fire-breathing quirk. He can breath light green fire from his breath. It will be stronger than regular fire. However, he needs strong lungs that can maintain that fire. The hottest flames can go all the way to 3000 degrees. But if uses it too much he will cough off blood. He can combine it with Haki and give it a much darker color of green. This will be the offensive quirk that he uses for combat. Second quirk. Esper. 1. This quirk will be like the combination of Dominator's touch from solo leveling and Esper powers of Ibuki from One Punch Man, but weaker. He can lift all the way to 600 kilograms, but not anything heavier. This will be his support quirk, and he will use the versatility of this quirk to create many different attacks and moves. And he will be using this power to enhance his speed, strength, and agility. Along with his fire quirk. If he overuses this quirk he will have headaches or even bleed from his eyes, nose and mouth. Haki. He will have Conqueror's Haki. He will have mastered basic observation Haki. He will have armament Haki mastered stage 2 and semi-stage 3 spoiler for One Piece manga, I am sorry. Physical. He will have Rakushiki plus Rakugan. His Dariki will be around 2000 to 3000. Way higher if he enhances his quirk and Haki. All Might will have Dariki around 15,000 in his prime, but about 7,000 to 10,000 after the injury. His height will be around 1.98 meters and will be very muscular. In his full power he will be stronger than All Might. 2. He will also be using weapons. His body will be covered in scars and burns on his arms and legs. I am also going to remove some characters from the story to make things simple. Because One Piece has a cluster of characters and using all of them is difficult. I am also gonna kill some characters offset for world building. I am gonna make some powerful One Piece characters Marine to balance the power scales. In this story the Marines are not trying to keep the emperors in check like it is in the One Piece world. But are trying to defeat them. Therefore their overall power would be somewhat close. There is also one more thing about Deku. He is still a quirk-loving cinnamon roll boo. He is also an absolute madlad. And a bit evil. He is like a cinnamon roll made by Garp. He is also a genius tactician. 14 years later. Marine soldier. Well, here we are, sir. Musatafu City. Izuku. Good. First I will go to my new address. It is my new office and home. I will have a meeting with the Principal UA and All Might along with the Hero Association. Maybe this evening or later tomorrow. Can you help me take my stuff to there? Marine soldier. Yes sir. Izuku's POW. 7. Wow. How long it has been. Has it been 8 years already? There are not much that has been changed. Last time I was just a kid. And now I become a full-fledged Marine. I arrived to the place around 1 PM and left the house after around 4 PM. I was walking into the city as I saw a few new shops that I don't remember from the last time. The streets were crowded. I think it is around 4 PM here. Well, the worst thing about traveling different countries all the time that you don't really catch up to the current time quick. As walking I decided to go to a market and bought a newspaper. Then I went to the nearest cafe and decided to read it. I saw some people were looking at me when I arrived. Well, they were mostly girls. The waitress came. Waitress. So, what would you like to order, sir? I looked at her. Izuku. Just tea is fine, thank you. Well, as for dessert, anything is fine so you can choose. Waitress. Oh, okay, sir. A cup of tea and vanilla cake is coming. Izuku. Thank you. Third POW. Some time passed and Izuku was drinking his tea while reading a newspaper. Then he noticed that some of the girls were still looking at him with small smiles on their faces. He had enhanced senses thanks to observation Haki, so he decided to listen what they were talking about. Then he heard. Wow, he is hot, he is huge. I wonder how much muscle in under that suit, that is a manly scar. I wonder what kind of battle gave that. I hope he is single, he looks young and strong. As he was hearing these conversations he got a small smile and a tiny blush since he was flattered. Then he heard an explosion from far away. He immediately get up and put some money to the counter. It was way more than what he ordered, but he did not care. As the owner tried to say something, but Izuku was already gone. He dashed to the area to find a villain attack happening. There were a bunch of heroes. And a dozen marine soldiers and a marine commander, along with a local police force holding shields. He jumped to the roof of the nearest building to see things clearly. In the middle of the dust and smoke there was a sludge villain holding a hostage. Heroes tried to move along with the marines, but the explosions coming out of that sludge villain was too powerful for them. The blonde girl held by the villain was trying her best to escape. The sludge villain was controlling her body and making her aim her quirk to the heroes. For a brief moment he saw her eyes. She was terrified and you could see the tears coming from them. She was afraid that she was about to die. Izuku jumped back to the street and moved towards the crowd, basically bulldozing his way to the area where sludge villain. Itsumi, as the woman in tears, cried as her husband was holding her, also crying, knowing there is nothing they can't do to fix this hopeless situation. They were just watching their baby girl die slowly. Plus. Commander. Please stay back, ma'am, it is not safe. Stay back my ass, my daughter is about to be killed, Kier. Stop holding me back, Masaru. Masaru? And what are you gonna do, Mitsuki? There is nothing we can do. He yelled, crying. Mitsuki, but. Commander, ma'am, please, we understand it, but stop. The commander stopped talking the moment he saw Izuku landing near them and started walking towards the scene. As his eyes widened he looked at Izuku with his jaw dropped. Izuku POW. Commander, WW wait, why you are, pointing at me. Izuku. Pull back, the hero's commander. Your cavalry has arrived. I said it with a smirk. Without hesitation I pushed the marines and heroes aside and moved towards the villain. I activated my telekinesis quirk to give me a speed boost. Since the amount I could lift with my quirk is not too much, I decided to make it as versatile as possible. I dashed towards the villain using Soru, then I coated my right hand with Haki and launched 2 flying Shigan at the villain's eyes, making him blind and causing him to lose the grip on the girl. Then I used my telekinesis on my left hand to pull the girl out. At the same time I used Geppo to catch her. I grabbed her with my left hand while falling down on the villain, who just realized what is happening. But it was too late, I was right next to his face. I cocked back my right arm while coating it with Haki. I was also enchanting it with my quirk to give it more power along with speed. Right before I hit him I put some condensed fire to my attack for more burst and explosive power. The impact made a shockwave that created even bigger explosions than before, and there were even more fire now. Also the nearby pipes were blown and some bits of the concrete was molten. The villain exploded to pieces. I put the girl down as I tried to help her breathe properly. I put both my hands on her chest and focused on her insides. I used telekinesis to remove the particles of sludge that was inside her lungs that made her harder to breathe. She coughed some green sludge and then started to breathe properly. After a minute she looked better and stared to recover her vision, which was still somewhat blurry. I grabbed her bridal style and walked towards the rest of the heroes and marines. I used my fire to keep her warm. I noticed that she was looking at me. Izuku. It is going to be alright. You are safe now. I said with a kind and confident smile. It was at that moment I saw her blush. I gave the marines hand heroes a nod showing that it was over. The police went for the remains of the villain, put it in a container and took it to jail. Heroes were just in shock looking at me. At that moment all the marines just got in a line and all of them saluted me. I put her down. Right at that moment her family rushed towards her and hugged her tightly. The mother was just crying from happiness and so did the father. Itsumi. Geez, old hag, I am okay, stop hugging me so damn tight. Mitsuki. Oh, shut up, do you have any idea how worried I was, how worried we were? You don't get to say that, you damn brat. As the mother and daughter were in a heated argument, the father was just happy that she is okay and awkwardly tried to stop those two. He looked like he was used to this, but he still tried to separate them knowing they were in public. I laugh really hard since it brought me memories of my childhood with my stepbrothers arguing with our grandfather and eventually get beaten by him. Then I approached to the man. Plus. Izuku. Her reminds of my family. My brothers also argue like them with my grandfather. Well, in our case we talked with our fists more often rather than shouting at each other. I said laughing. Masaru. Yeah, at this point it is impossible to stop them, so I just gave up years ago. But we are in public right now. So I need to stop them. Izuku. Nah, don't worry, everyone will probably focus on me and forget about them. Commander, sir. Thank you for your help, sir. I don't know what would happen if you did not show up. Izuku. Yeah, I don't want to think about it either. Third POW. As the reporters were just looking at Izuku in awe, wondering who is this giant, very intimidating looking man. But they also saw him giving a very genuine and kind smile, which kinda made him more approachable. The heroes were also curious about this new marine. He was very strong. The other marines were saluting him. Is he a new officer? Then the reporters tried to approach him to ask some questions. It was at that moment they heard an all-familiar voice. All Might, have no fear cause I am here. Oh. Young Midoriya. Long time no see, has it been 3 years? How have you been, what are you doing here? When did you come to Japan? Izuku. All Might, good to see you too. I am alive and well as you can see. The overseas is fun, but it is good to be back. I just defeated this pathetic excuse of a villain trying possess a girl. It was quite disappointing actually. As for when I came back to Japan. Well, what time is it? All Might. Well, it is about 6 p.m. Izuku. Well, I came back 5 hours ago. All Might. And you are already beating the heck out of villains and saving people. Glad to see you haven't changed at all, young Midoriya. You are still as crazy as ever. Izuku. You know you don't need to call me that, right, old man, just call me Izuku. All Might. Ha 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 ha, sorry, but I cannot throw away that habit. Izuku. Well, of course you wouldn't, you big blonde jackass, ha ha ha. As they were going back and forth they eventually gave each other to a bro shake, then a bro hug. The reporters and pro heroes as well as Marines were shocked to see this guy have such a friendly relationship with All Might, but the one that was most shocked was Mitsuki. Not for the thing that is happening between them, but she was shocked because of the name of this Marine. Eventually the two broke off. Izuku. Well, I am going home. I talk to you later, All Might. All Might. I see, yeah, see you later as well, young Midoriya. Then the crowd left as well. Before Izuku was about to go, the woman approached her. Mitsuki. Thank you so much for saving our daughter. Izuku. It was my pleasure, ma'am. It might dude as a Marine. Now if you excuse me I will leave, Izuku said with a smile. Mitsuki. Wait, are you really Izuku Midoriya? Izuku. Well, yes I am, have you heard of me? Mitsuki. Oh my god, Izuku. I can't believe it, you look so big. Look at the man you have grown into. This statement confused Izuku. Izuku. Sorry, do I know you? Mitsuku. It is me, Mitsuki, your mother Inko and I were best friends. Do you remember? Izuku, hold on. Auntie Mitsuki, is that you? Wow. I don't know what to say, it has been 14 years. I have you been? Masaru, hold on. You are that Izuku, that little kid that has been constantly dreaming about being a Marine, Jesus Christ, you have grown so much. Haven't seen you since. At that moment Masaru stopped thinking what happened to Inko and Hisashi. He immediately got smacked by Mitsuki and they both tried to apologize. Mitsuki. Masaru, oh god, we are sorry if it. They were caught off by Izuku who just laughed at them. Then with a genuine smile that Mitsuki was way too familiar. Izuku. It is alright. Well, to be honest, it was a long time ago and I am not holding any grudges to that incident. Especially now that I am a Marine as well. True, at that time it was hard. But right now I know why they did it. And I'm glad they did. Hell, I would do the exact same thing with no hesitation. 1. He had the kind and a confident smile. Like a mixture of both of his parents. This made Mitsuki tear up a bit, seeing her best friend in him. While this was happening, Katsumi was just listening them. Then remembered the pictures that they have in their home. The pictures of her parents holding her as a newborn infant and another family with Marine outfits. There was a kid with green hair and friskers on his cheek holding her on his arms. Katsumi. Are you the kid from the pictures? Katsumi said with a small blush. Mitsuki. Oh yes, Katsumi. It is him. You were just born back then so you would not remember. When you were born they were very excited, hell Hisashi wanted to be your godfather. But I still can't believe this what you have tuned into. I mean, how tall are you, Izuku? You look like you are around the same height as All Might. Those moves you did earlier, isn't your quirk is the same as your parents? How did you got so strong? Also, where did you got that scar on your face? Izuku. Well, I can explain but not here. As you see, it is getting dark. Why don't we go to my place? And continue our talk. Mitsuki. Sure, are you still living the old place? The place where your family used to live? Izuku. I still own that place, but no, I live on the other side of the town. The rich area. It has good space and I can also use it as my personal office. Mitsuki. Oh, so you are rich now? Mitsuki. Well, I do have a high salary. Thanks to my current rank. But I can't tell you what it is. It is not classified or anything, but I want to keep to myself. But you can assume it is quite high for someone at my age. 1. Izuku said it with a grin. Which kinda make Mitsuki proud. Mitsuki. I see, then give us the address and we will meet you there. Time skip to the house. Izuku's house was a big one. It was not a mansion, but it was still a huge house that looked like one. It had a big garage, a good-looking front garden, and a huge backyard with a pool. They got inside, it was a huge living room that is connected to the kitchen. There was also a small bar area. I had at least 3 floors with 1 bathroom in each floor. also total of 10 bedrooms. There were also other rooms for other purposes such as his personal office. There was one room that looked odd to the Bakugo family. The door looked industrial and probably was made out of steel. 4. Izuku's POW. Pitsumi. What is behind this door? Izuku. Oh, that is my armory, that is where I keep my weapons and armor. It also works like a crafting room with tools and a forge in it so that I can repair any of my weapons if they are damaged. And yes. I do have a shit ton of explosives that are probably even more powerful than you can ever make in your life inside that room, so I say, stay out of it. I said it with a straight face. Which kinda scared the family. Mitsuki. Well, nice house you got there. Seriously, I can't believe you can afford this. Izuku. Yeah. Well, if you think about it, most pro heroes have high salary. So I guess it is safe to say that dangerous jobs gets you the most money. Anyway, make yourselves at home. Wanna drink something? I have tea here. Mitsuki. Sure, thank you, we would have some. I boiled some water with my quirk so that it would take less time. As we were drinking green tea, I noticed that Masaru was looking at my childhood photos. Specifically one I took with Luffy, Ace and Sabo. There were also other photos of us as a family, some were just us messing around. Like the time we were desperately running away old man Garp as he was mad at us. It was big sis Makino that took the picture. Masaru. So Izuku, who are they? Izuku. Oh, they are my family pictures. The boys you see there are my older brothers. Along with my grandfather and some other family friends. Mitsuki. Wait, what? I don't remember Inko having other children. Izuku. No, they are not my biologic brothers. Well, after the incident my father adopted me and we become brothers. Well, it kinda took some time, but now we are a family. Mitsuki. I see, but why do you not have Inko and Hisashi's pictures here? They are your birth parents after all. Izuku. Well, to be honest, I don't think it would matter at this point. Yes, I still have some pictures of me and them, and they are my birth parents. However, at this point in my life, it is hard for me to see them as my true family. It may sound heartless, but I see the people that adopted me as my true family, rather than the ones that gave birth to me. It is because Inko and Hisashi died when I was way too young, and I don't remember much about them anymore. Hell, my memories about them are so little that it almost feels like they are strangers to me. Yes, I still carry their last name, but to me my true surname is Monkey D. It is them that I grew up with, the ones I laughed, cried, and have fun with. They are the ones I laid my life for, they are the ones that accepted me with nothing in return, and they are the ones that taught me that family is not formed by blood. Instead, it is formed with love. I am still trying to cherish what little memories I had with my birth parents. But it is quite difficult right now. I hope you understand. Mitsuki. Yes, kid, I understand. True, it has been 14 years and you were also very young. Well, if you want to hear more about your birth parents, you can always talk to me, she said with a smile. Izuku. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. After some more chatting they left. I got to my office after tidying things up a bit and doing the dishes. There were still some boxes I had to unpack. Most important one being my combat gear. As I was arranging the stuff in the room, I got a phone call. Izuku. Hello, it is Officer Midoriya, how can I help you? Nezu. Hello, I'm Principal Nezu, principal of UA High School. I heard from All Might that you have arrived to Japan today, sir. If I may, I would like to talk to you about 2 topics. Izuku. Of course, as a matter of fact I was planning to talk to you in person tomorrow, but if you want we can do it now. Nezu. Well, let's talk the briefings now and we can talk in more detail tomorrow as well with other heroes. Izuku. Yes, that would be helpful. Thank you for your time. Nezu. No, it is I that should be thanking you. Someone of your caliber will be a great help for raising the future generation of heroes. To be honest, I was surprised the Navy decided to replace one of the Marine representatives with someone like you. I always knew they would change the retired one, but I expected it to be a captain or a commodore rank Marine. But a vice admiral was certainly a surprise. Izuku. Hahaha, thank you for your kind words. I don't really deserve it. Well, All Might asked for assistance, and since he is a friend I could not refuse. Speaking of him, has he found a successor yet? Or should I help him in that matter? And yes, I am aware. Nezu. Yeah, well, there is a student that we are thinking of. He is currently a second year, but I am not sure. It is not that he doesn't deserve it, in fact I think he is a very suitable person in both power and personality. The problem with him being that he is already a second year who has already got his provisional license. So people would be suspicious. Izuku. Yeah, I see your point. From what you said he seems like a good candidate. However, you never know the future, so it is better we keep searching for a while as well. Nezu. Out of curiosity, how did you find out about it? Izuku. Well, he offered me and my brothers a long time ago, but we all collectively rejected. To be honest, I already have 2 quirks, I don't need a third one. Plus I also in the same position as that student of yours. Enough Marines already know about my quirk, so it would also create a suspicion. Especially in these days that last thing I need is distrust of others. Nezu. Oh I see. Why is that? Izuku. Well that is kinda classified, but all I can say is that our enemies are just coming with new methods to cause chaos and destruction. It is something I rather not say on phone because you would not believe it. It is an absolute shit show out there. All Might is really doing a good job protecting this country. But I fear what will happen when he is gone. Yes there is us Navy and you heroes, but nowadays anything can happen. I would like to talk the second topic tomorrow if it is okay for you. 1. Nezu. Yes it is okay for me. I will also call some heroes to the meeting as well because they are on this case for some time on. Izuku. I see yeah I would like to meet them as well. Nezu. Well then I see you tomorrow morning. Is it okay for you Mr. Midoriya? Izuku. Yes I will be there around 9 AM if you are free. Nezu. Alright then I hope to see you soon. And welcome to Japan sir. Izuku. Thank you and good night. I closed the phone and looked for the evidence box. I pulled out a plastic bag containing a bullet with a needle on it. Quirk erasing bullets huh. The emperors are causing enough troubles and this is the last thing I want to deal with. I hope we can end these bullets quick. Izuku POW. The next morning I woke up and got dressed. I wore my suit and marine cape. I also took my weapons and equipments a first aid kit. My weapons were consist of 2 relatively long and 2 short swords. I also had small scale-like blades on my back that I used with my telekinesis. I used them for many ways. Form capture tools to evacuation and rescue items. I also had wires made from titanium tungsten alloy for wrapping villains or even use them in battle. It was easier than basically grabbing people with telekinesis and I could always enhance my tools with both of my quirks as well. I was also wearing a marine cap. I ate my breakfast, took my motorcycle and head for the UA. It was around 8:45 AM when I arrived. The moment I arrived I saw Principal waiting for me in the entrance. I immediately removed my helmet and revealed who I was. Nezu. Ku you must be Vice Admiral Midoriya. It is my pleasure to meet you in person. 7. Izuku. That pleasure is my principal. Now where exactly I can park my bike? Nezu. Oh well there is the parking area for teachers. Izuku. I see thank you so much. I don't want to wait you here why don't you go back to your office and I find you there. Nezu that would be considerate of you. Thanks. I parked my bike then head for the school inside. I was walking down the corridor and I bumped into someone. My instincts kicked in and I immediately grabbed them by hand and stopped them from falling. I looked down and saw a woman in a skin-tight white outfit with black strips. It was easily showing her assets in a quite seductive way. She had blue eyes and black pointy long hair. She looked around she was in her late 20s to early 30s her body was elegant but also decently muscular. She also had quite interesting looking glasses. She dropped the notes that she was carrying. I put her down gently and proceeded to grab the documents she dropped. Her POW. Izuku. I am sorry miss. Here let me help you. Oh thank you so much. Oh my goodness. I looked up to see this man with a scar on his face wearing a suit and a marine cape. Along with a hat. He was at least 6 foot tall and looked very huge. He had green eyes with messy black-green hair. He looked young and was quite handsome. The huge scar wasn't taking anything from it, if anything it made him look more manly. He was smiling with a bright and a confident smile. It looked like a smile All Might would give, but his was much more genuine and natural. He was clearly a kind person with the body and a face of a warrior. What a man I thought. Plus. Midnight. Wow you are a one piece of eye candy mister. My name is Namuri Kayama also known as Plus 18 Hero Midnight. Mind if I can have your name? I said while licking my lips. 6. Izuku. Hahaha thanks for the compliment. Yes I am Izuku Midoriya. I am here to talk with principal about 2 topics. Midnight. I see. Yes I was taking these documents to his office anyways so would you like to go together? Izuku. Sure I would love to. He said with a smile. Oh my god he is so good looking. I wonder if he is single. Izuku's POW. I saw a lot of people looking at me. Most of the girls had small blushes. I heard some of them saying. Wow he looks strong. A marine. Wow that's so cool. I leaned one of them, the one that seemed to blush the most out of all of them. Put a small smile, leaned to her a bit, patted her on the head and said. Oh hello there. The girl looked at me and blushed even more. I could say she had streams coming from her ears. She had very long blue hair. She also seemed to have blue eyes as well. She was wearing her school uniform, which looked cute on her. Hi, Mr. W why are you wearing that hat? Why are you so tall? It is because of your quirk. What is your quirk? You look young, how old are you? How did you got that scar? As she started to ask me these questions for like minutes. Quite the talkative one. Many people I know would look like a skeleton by now because of this barrage of questions. Even I felt kinda overwhelmed, so I tried to stop her. I put my finger on her lips. 1. SHHHHHH. Breathe. Slowly. Ha 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 ha, geez. She got flustered a lot. She tried to say something but failed. I could almost swear I was able to hear her blood going to her brain. Izuku. Okay, first of all, I wore this hat like it. Plus it shades my face a bit, which I learned how to use for my favor over time. Second, I drank too much milk and also genetics, I guess. My girk has nothing to do with my appearance. I would tell it, but I will keep it a secret for now. And trust me, you would be surprised. Believe it or not, but I am actually 18 years old right now. And I got my scar during an encounter against a group villains a long time ago. Now that I think about it, was decently a lot for Japanese standards. 3. I saw her staring at me with an awe. Then I heard other people yelling. STUDENT1. He actually answered all of them. STUDENT2. How did he catch up to all of them? I was lost after the second question. STUDENT3. He is 18. Well, looks like I gotta go. You guys would not want to be late to the classes, do you? They all looked at me. It was right at that moment the bell rang and all the students went back to their classrooms. Third POW. Izuku and Midnight eventually went to the principal's office. He knocked the door. Nezu. Come in. Oh, Mr. Midoriya, your timing is perfect. I just boiled the water for tea. Oh, Namuri, I see you are here too. Did you Mr. Midoriya already? Namuri. Oh yes, we have just met when I have bumped into him. Izuku. Thanks you for your patience, Mr. Principal. I am sorry that I am late. Nezu. It is quite alright. Technically you have arrived early, so no worries. Also please call me Nezu. It is actually a bit awkward to hear that from a guy who can shut down this school anytime he wants. Plus you are going to be newest Marine representative for the next year, so there is no need for that kind of formalities. Izuku. I see. Alright, then Nezu. And thank you for the tea. Midnight was just looking at us in awe and utter shock. Then she couldn't take it anymore and spoke. Midnight. You are the new representative? Izuku. Yes, that is me. I will be the new one for next year. I will be mainly focusing on the freshman year, however if you need, I can also help out with the second and third years as well. Izuku's POW. As we were talking, the rest of the teachers began to arrive, along with All Might and some other pro heroes. One of them was particularly interesting. He had green hair with yellow strips, he was cowering his hazel eyes with glasses. He was wearing a white suit and white pants. He looked like he was doing a lot of paperwork because he wasn't standing completely straight. But despite that he was quite tall. He was standing right next to All Might. However, for some reason I was able to feel a bit of a tension between them. It didn't felt like hatred, but it seemed more like awkwardness. There was also a small old man in front of them. He had orange-white costume with a cape and a belt with the word G on it. It looked a bit cliché, but you never judge a book by its cover. He was eating a fish cracker-looking snack on one hand and he had a walking stick on the other hand. He was crippled, or was it just the old age? He was wearing a mask which was not really doing good on cowering his face. He had white hair and fully grown white beard. He seemed like a lazy old man, which reminded me of my grandfather. The thought of that gave me chills. You can never trust such old people these days. Underestimate them and your life is ruined. 3. Next to him was Recovery Girl. She looked just like the last time I met her 3 years ago during the incident. We needed all the medics back then. Especially me. Nezu. Oh, it seems like everyone has arrived. Now then, let's begin, shall we? Yes. It would be good. Nezu. Dear teachers and heroes, first of all I would like to introduce you to Vice Admiral Izuku Midoriya. One of the head commanders of Division Cork Navy Atlas 5, also known as QNA 5, he will be the newest Marine representative for the next year's freshman hero and support course. He also offered to help us to train second and third years as well. Right now he will be helping us in a matter at hand that we have to deal with before it becomes even a bigger problem. Everyone. Vice Admiral. Almost all of them yelled except Recovery Girl, All Might, the green-haired man, and the old man. Izuku. Pleasure to be working with all of you. You don't look that old, mister. How did you manage to get such a high rank? Even with the world military draft, you usually don't get such a high rank this early. Said the old man. Izuku. Well, how did All Might become the #1 hero? Ooh. He said with a smile. Izuku. Hahaha, everyone asks me that question, so I am used to it. To be perfectly honest, it just happened itself. I never really cared about my rank, but I also did try to reach a certain rank. That way I would be able to participate in more dangerous missions as well. Yes, I applied with a military draft when I was 15. I was a Commodore, then over time I ranked up to Vice Admiral. It was at that moment Midnight was even more shocked. She stood up. Midnight. But you said you are 18 years old. You become a Vice Admiral just in 3 years. Not to mention you started as a Commodore at the 15, how? Just how? 1. Rest of the heroes just looked at me in awe and shock. 1. She is right, sir, how do you accomplish something like this in 3 years? Even former number 2 hero Endeavor was able to become a Commodore, but they did not let him go higher because they said he was not good enough. 5. All Might. You don't have to question it, everyone. Trust me, this young man here completely deserves his position. Not only he is very powerful, he also did not got his position in Silver Spoon either. He put a lot of effort in it. He put his body and life on the line, he saved many people while doing so. The heroes looked at him with shock. Heroes? You know him by any chance? All Might. Yes, he and I worked together in a case 3 years ago in overseas. And I can sense it. He has grown a lot since that day. Right now, he is at least as powerful as I am, if not stronger. He is not wrong. I can sense his power as well. This young man is strong. Snipe, you should be able to sense it as well. The black-haired man said while grinning. He had long black hair. And a messy beard. He was wearing full black one-piece looking outfit with a long scarf around him. The most interesting part that he was also carrying a yellow sleeping bag with him. He had a bit of dry eyes and looked like he desperately needed sleep. Snipe. Damn, you are right, Eraserhead. His aura is huge. Izuku. Ooh. I see you guys are Haki users. Are you the only ones? Nezu, are there any other Haki users in the school? Nezu. Yes, Pro Hero Hound Dog is also a Haki user. He uses Armament Haki, Snipe uses Observation Haki and Eraserhead uses both. Izuku. Oh, impressive. I know All Might uses both of it too, but he is a bit of an exception, so excluding him, it is good to see I won't be the only one. These days it is hard to find heroes with proper Haki training. People are just focusing on their quirks too much. Nezu. Yes. It is a pity that the Ministry of Education is not allowing us to train our students in Haki. But I understand their worries. After all, Haki training is very difficult. And if it is not handled by experts, it is even deadly. It has quite the mortality rate. Which usually scares the children. Izuku. Yeah. Luckily, we the Quirk Navy has our own rules when it comes to requiting and training people and don't have to follow any education systems. In the Navy it is mandatory to use it among the higher-ups, no matter how powerful your quirk is. Practically everyone that has an admiral rank, rear admiral, vice admiral or full admiral has to know Haki. It is okay to know one type of Haki if you are a red admiral. For vice admirals, you need to master at least one type of Haki, and maybe you add a second type. For admirals, you need to master at least 2 types fully and maybe even go beyond. In this world, sticking to one source of power will eventually lead your downfall. Quirks are still very important and must be trained properly, but relying solely on it is not wise. Nezu. Yes. A part of you Marines I envy the most. Well, that is out of the way, let's go on with the second topic. Izuku. Oh yes. The bullets. Or some calls it the cure. Nezu. As you can see there are other pro heroes here as well. Midoriya-san, please meet Sir Night Eye All Might, former sidekick and the pro hero that has been investigating these bullets for a while. He was pointing at the man with green hair and glasses. Izuku. Oh, I see. Pleased to work with you, Sir Night Eye. Night Eye? Yes, indeed. Now let's get to the topic. For some months, I have been investigating this certain Yakuza group and now I may have reliable evidence that they have been producing these bullets. The last couple of months the street gangs have been using these more and more often against heroes and marines. The current bullets only erase someone's bullet for a couple hours. However, the way they do it is the one that concerns me. Unlike the Eraserhead here, whose ability does not harm the quirk itself, this drug does. Basically it makes the person unable to use their quirk by attack the quirk gene, damaging it. Izuku. Yes. But there is more to it, isn't there? Night Eye. Izuku. You said the street gangs are using it more and more, but unfortunately, that is just the tip of the iceberg. For the last 2 months we have encountered these bullets in quite a lot of places overseas. First world countries, third world countries, pirates, and so on. This group is playing their game well. They are also keeping their true terror hidden from the local forces that are surrounding them. They are probably the only producers and they are mass producing it for some time. Many major villains in the world are quite interested in these bullets. Therefore they are putting a lot of investment to it. Enough investment that the villain group can somehow mass produce them now. However, the bullets seem to be weak because the person that is shot by the bullet lost their quirk for about 2 hours. Night Eye. How that is interesting. Because the heroes here who got affected by the bullet lost their quirks for much longer periods of time. Starting from at least 5 hours to 12 hours. Izuku. If that is the case here, those bullets must be different in quality. It could be still in the development phase. Or they are rushing the production to meet their buyers. But the question is why? Snipe. Could it be the lack of supplies? Izuku. I kinda doubt it. Among the villain groups that are investing money in this, some of them are too high-tier organizations. Judging from how badly they want this, they can supply them with whatever they need along with the money. Nezu. Maybe one of the ingredients is too rare even for them. I looked at Sir Night-Eye with a look that wants answers. He looked at me back and only gave me a nod. Night-Eye. You wouldn't be wrong. As the matter of fact, this is why I requested the aid of Navy. About a couple weeks ago, we managed to find a new type of bullet. This one is much powerful than the previous ones, where it was able to erase someone's quirk for at least a week. As we examined it, we found what the last and the rarest ingredient is. It was a human DNA. I looked at him with wide eyes. I was shocked. So was everyone else in the meeting. Nezu. Were you able to identify the DNA? Night-Eye. Unfortunately no. It does not have any records in our database. As far as I am concerned, it is a ghost person. All we know that it belongs to someone. But we were unable to determine anything else. As far I am concerned, it could be anyone. It was at that moment I started to get flashback about Punk Hazard incident. I was holding my fist. Without realizing, I got my emotions pumped up and caused both my quirk to go wild and Haki to slip. After a few seconds I took a sign, calm down. As I looked up, I saw almost all of the pro heroes looking at me with terrified faces. Then I looked around and noticed that there were a few small cracks on the walls. Also, one of the light bulbs were destroyed. It took me a few seconds to realize what I just did. Third POW. Izuku. Oh, I am so sorry, I got emotional. After the last guess, I remembered an incident happened a couple years back. One that I am still angry at. The old man looked at me with more awe than fear. Kid. Are you a? I looked at him with a small smile. Izuku. Yes sir. I do have that as well. Tashi, did you knew about this? All Might. Yes. I saw him use it, Torino-sensei. It was when we meet for the first time in the Caribbean volcano incident. Eraserhead just grinned even more. So did the old man. Izuku was on the other hand was wondering. Torino. Where did I heard that name before? Iuku, wait, are you pro hero Gran Torino? And retired pro hero? Gran Torino. Yes, it is me. Do you know about me? Izuku, I think we have met before. Back in the Navy headquarters. Was it about 11 years ago? You were visiting my grandfather. And I think you were talking about All Might. Gran Torino, I was talking with. Wait, kid, are you his grandson? Izuku. Yes, I am. Gran Torino just looked at him with awe and grinned. Then he just bursted into laughter. Gran Torino. Ha 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 ha, I see now. Ha 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 ha, oh, that explains so much. Tell me. How's Garp doing these days? I heard that he finally retired. Izuku. Yes, he did. He partially retired. He is not a vice admiral anymore. He is a combat instructor. He helps the newcomers and gives them advices about how to do things. Other than that, he barely has any responsibility. Well, he was going to fully retire, but we kinda begged him to stay and at least do this. Kinda the same case with Sengoku. Who become the chief inspector. He barely works and just stays around the headquarters and give advices to the newbies. One. Literally everyone except All Might shouted in shock. Everyone. GG Garp. The marine hero. He is your grandfather. Izuku. Yeah, he is. He said while blushing a bit. Snipe. No wonder you have such a strong presence. Izuku. Don't bet on it, Snipe. Anyone who can withstand the training that crazy old jerk gives can be considered a powerhouse. At that moment, both All Might and Izuku kinda started shaking as they were both hitting their legs to stop trembling, kinda worrying some of the teachers. Teachers? What did he do to them? 10. On the land far away you could see someone sneezing. Garp. Is someone talking about me? 1. Back to the UA. Izuku. Anyways, so what should we do? Sir, Night-Eye. First things first, must start with the identity of the group members. The main leader Kai Chisaki, aka Overhaul. He is the leader of the Shai Hasekai, the Yakuza group that runs the drug business. His quirk is called Overhaul, which allows him to disassemble and reassemble anything he touches to an atomic level. It is really powerful and should be approached with caution. Also, he is most likely a Haki user, given that he hates quirks. Then there are the 8 precepts of death. They are the main fighting force of the organization. There is a possibility that a few of the members can use Haki. With the rest of the thugs, there are about 148 villains in total. The location of their base is unknown. So I say we separate in groups and patrol. If we manage to find one of their members, we can track them to their base of operations. I suggest we start with the area of the town they are most active. Izuku. Good idea. So who is exactly participating in the patrols? Is it only going to be us or are you going to call some of the students with license as well? Nezu. My apologies, but not all of the teachers are going to be participating, I am afraid. In fact, most likely only a few of them have time right now. But we have a few students that can join us. There are also some other agencies that I can give it a call to as well. Izuku. Not a problem. To be honest, I was not expecting everyone to join in. After all, most of you must stay in the school to catch the kids and guard them. Midnight. I can participate in the patrol. We can also call the new Big Three. Izuku. The new Big Three. Nezu. Yes, they are basically the best second years. One of them is the direct apprentice of Sir Night Eye. So they would be glad to help out. Izuku. I see. Well, that makes about 9 of us to patrol, I think. I will also dispatch a couple squads to other areas, so that should be enough. Can you introduce me to the students? I would like to meet them before going. Nezu. Sure thing, I can call them now. Izuku. No need, we can do this after school. Night Eye. Alright, we will start tomorrow morning. Time skip to end of the school. Izuku's POW. As I was waiting in the principal's room, I saw 3 students come in. First student had blonde hair and blue eyes. He looked tall and quite muscular. Maybe it is his quirk. He had a big smile on his face which kinda reminded me of All Might. I was able to see the scars on his arms. He seemed either brave or very reckless, or he was just taking his job very seriously. But I was just like him, so I had no right to judge. The second student was a girl. But not just any girl. She was the girl that I just talked this morning. I didn't think she was one of the best students here. The aura I got from her was something else. Interesting. The third student was a boy with black hair and black eyes. He had pointy ears that reminded me of an elf. Compared to the first 2, he looked really shy and seemed like he wanted to burrow his face to the ground to hide his embarrassment. This guy really needs some self-confidence. Maybe I should introduce him to Luffy or add him to his squad for a confidence boost. Or just get him a good girlfriend. Izuku. So you are the best second years. It is a pleasure to meet you. I saw the girl as she instantly recognized me. Mister. You asked us to be here? Izuku. Ah yes. And sorry for not giving my name last time. My name is Izuku Midoriya. At are yours? Well. My name is Togoda Mirio, sir. It is a pleasure to meet you. I see you this morning. You seemed quite strong. My name is Hado Najire. It is good to finally work with you. My NN name is I am Jiki Tamaki. It is an H honor to meet you. Izuku. Wow, Tamaki, you don't need to stutter that much. To be honest, I am probably just a few years older than you, so none of you have to call me sir. Just call me Izuku. Najire. Sir, are you really 18 years old? Izuku. Surprising, I know, but yes, I am. Najire. So what are you doing here really? Why have asked us? How did you become a marine officer this young? What is your rank? What will we do now? I put my finger to her mouth again. Izuku. Back to this, ha 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 ha. Well, I like your energy, Najire. It is cute, but you should slow down a bit. First of all, I am here for 2 reasons. First being that I am gonna be the marine representative for the freshman year students next year. Second reason, I will also be participating in a mission, which also the reason why I called you guys. I could use your help as well. Third, I become an officer with a military draft about 3 years ago. I am keeping my rank to myself for now. Don't worry, I will reveal some time, but for now, I wanna let the mystery build up. And lastly, we will be going on a patrol tomorrow morning for a mission. For now, I will briefly explain it to you 3. But before that, I would like to talk about your quirks. Mirio? Sure. I go first. My quirk is called permeation. It is pretty self-explanatory, to be honest. Izuku. How, that is a really difficult quirk to use right there. Do you phase though the earth if you fully permeate? Mirio. Yes, I do. Izuku. But you don't stuck, right? Mirio. Yes. When I do, something weird happens. When I stop permeate, the atoms that already exist there pushes me back. I even learned how to move to different locations like that. It was quite difficult at first. Every time I permeated, wasn't able to cancel it right back. So I was usually behind a Varan. But I trained hard and managed to become a student in UA. Izuku. Smirk, that is good to hear. You are very dedicated. What is your hero name? Mirio. It is Lemillion, sir. Izuku. What does it mean? Mirio. It is a goal I want to achieve, sir. I want to save at least millions of people. Izuku. Smirk, such a goal you got there, Mirio. I like it. What about you, Najire? Najire. Well, my Gurk is called Surge. I can turn my stamina into spiral shockwaves and fire at my opponent. Izuku. Huh, that's cool. I kinda know a guy who can also use shockwaves. He is retired, but maybe I can ask him to give you some tips. Trust me, he may be retired, but he is still strong. 7. Najire. Oh, that is so sweet of you, sir, thank you. Izuku. What about you, Tamaki? Tamaki. My Q quirk is manifest. I can. Izuku. Okay dude, stop. Tamaki. Huh. Sir. Izuku. You are stuttering too much. Have a bit more confidence. Now let's do it this way. Sit down, take a deep breath or two, and start again. Tamaki. Oh okay sir. As he sat down, I sat down as well. I removed my marine uniform because I thought it is affecting him. He took a deep breath and started to talk. Tamaki. My quirk is manifest. I can manifest the characteristics of anything I eat. Like animals and fruits as long as they are in my system. For example, I can grow sea chicken wing from my back or turn my fingers into tea tentacles if I eat takoyaki. Izuku. See, much better. But my question is it anything you eat, does it have to be edible? Or you can eat anything? Do. Tamaki. Well sir, I never are really tried. Izuku. Hahaha okay. Do. Izuku. Now, I will explain you guys the mission we will be going tomorrow. A brief explanation later. Izuku. That it is what we are going to do. I am not going to make you do this. It is completely up to you. So are you in? The three of them. Yes sir, we are. Izuku. Good. And please stop calling me sir. Even my soldiers don't do that unless we are as battle. Just call me Izuku. You don't even need to call me with my family name either. Najire. Alright Izuku-san. Mirio. Okay, Midoriya. Tamaki. Oh okay, Midoriya-san. The next day, 3rd POW. 8 people were gathered in the street. They were Izuku, the big three, Midnight, Sir Night-Eye, Gran Torino, and Eraserhead. They managed to gather in edge of the city near the part they were gonna patrol. On their way there they encountered another pro-hero. It was someone Izuku haven't met yet, but one that he saw before. She had ash blonde hair reaching all the way to her waist, pinkish eyes covered by a purple mask which looked completely functionless. Mostly for decoration. And it was covering very little of her face. She had purple devilish horns which seemed like were connected to her mask. She wore a One Piece looking costume which was skin color mixed with white looking and purple top, gloves and boots. The purple parts also had orange strips on them. She seemed young, maybe in her early to mid-20s. Izuku's POW. I think I saw you a couple days ago. Wasn't she there during the sludge villain incident? Izuku. Oh hello there. I am Izuku Midoriya. I think we have met during the sludge villain incident. Oh, you are that cutie that took down the sludge villain a few days ago. I am Yu Takeyama, also known as Pro Hero Mount Lady. I gotta say you are damn strong. Izuku. I see, are you here for patrol? Because we are here for a mission. And if you are, you can join us in the mission. Are you okay with this guys? Eraserhead. Fine by me. Sir, Night-Eye. I have no problems. Midnight. More the merrier. Mount Lady. Sure, what are we doing? Izuku. Here, listen to this. It has the mission briefing. It will also help you communicate with the others better. I gave her a phone with earphones. MT Lady. Oh thank you. After a while she listened the recording and nodded her head. Izuku. Alright, let's separate in teams. Mirio, Najire and Tamaki, you are classmates, you must have some sort of teamwork, you will be a team. Gran Torino and Sir Night-Eye, you can be a good pair, so does Eraserhead and Midnight. Mountain Lady, you can join them as well. Is that alright with you guys? Do. Najire. Are you sure you want to be alone? Maybe I can go with you to give you cover. Izuku. Kind offer, but I will be fine by myself. I used to take a lot of solo missions in the Navy. If anything, you could be the one that needs help. Eraserhead. He is right, plus I would not be worried about his safety. Najire. Well, I still wanna go with you. See, can I go with you? Blushing. Izuku. Hahaha, well okay, as long as rest of you are okay with it. Mirio. Sure, we can take care of ourselves. Right, Tamaki? Tamaki. Why yes. Izuku. Okay, then Najire. You're with me. Najire. Yai. After that we started the patrol. After an hour or so the two of us were walking to the side of the street with less people. Suddenly I sensed a presence. It was small, scared and on the run, then I focused on more and I was able to hear the tiny footsteps. They were silent, as if it was running barefoot. I took my guard and charged my fire quirk inside my lungs. I pulled my sword out. Ready for combat. Najire noticed and looked at me confused. Najire. What is going on, Izuku-san? Then from the dark alley I saw a little girl running at me with pure fear in her eyes. My instincts kicked in and I grabbed her on the spot. She had bluish white hair, red eyes and a small horn on her right side. She felt very light as I her uplifted up. As I hold her, I was able to feel her ribsage as if she was underfed. She was visibly shaking. And seemed like she was step away from fainting. She was wearing an adult-sized t-shirt and nothing else. But the part that got my attention was her arms, legs and neck were covered in bandages. I stabbed the sword down to the ground and used my free hand to remove few of the bandages to see a scene that I haven't seen in a while. A scene that I hated the most. There were scars all over her limbs. A normal person would not really know what kind of scars are these. But I was experienced enough to know they were made by a sharp or a pointy object. Like a knife or even worse, a needle. I put the bandages back as I sensed another presence coming at us. As the figure come to the light I saw the man. He had dark brown hair and yellow eyes. He was wearing a green coat with purple fur. Under that coat, he was wearing a black shirt and a white tie, black pants with white shoes. He also wore white gloves. But the most noticeable thing he wore was a plague doctor mask in his face. No doubt about it. It was Overhaul. The girl saw her and immediately buried her face to my chest in a panic, trying to hide. A few seconds later something clicked in me. I did my best to hide my growing bloodlust. But I was way too pissed. My breathing got heavier and deeper, which was charging my quirk. It was exactly as I feared. The freaking jerk is freaking experimenting on a little child. How old is she anyways? 4. 5. I was screaming internally. Overhaul, Eerie. I am here to take you. Excuse me officer, can you let my daughter go? Izuku. I will, but first I will be asking you some questions. First, why is she covered in bandages? I played dumb. I knew it way too well, but I played it anyway. I managed to put a calm face, but was still looking a bit angry. He also seemed stressed. He was coming close to me. Eventually I managed to keep my mind calm. Overhaul. Well, she is a bit clumsy. She falls a lot. Those bandages are there because she just fall from the stairs. Izuku. Oh, I see. Well, but that does not explain why she seems very terrified. Overhaul. Oh, that is because I just scolded her so. Izuku. And what did you scolded her for exactly? Overhaul. Well. I sensed he was getting more and more stressed. He was panicking as his bloodlust was also increasing. He was about to attack, but trying to hold back. He acted calm, but he was not calm at all. I decided to use that. I was holding Eerie even stronger with one hand. I lifted her, gave her a good smile, and whispered to her ear. Izuku. Close your eyes, it will end soon. I signaled Najire to get back a bit. Who at this point was also on guard. She was even more confused now thanks to my signal. Overhaul. Hahaha, to be honest, it is a bit embarrassing to talk about it in public. Why don't you come with me to my place and I can explain it fully. Izuku. Oh, there is no need. As you see here, the streets are completely empty, plus if someone eardrops the conversation you can press charges for violation of privacy, plus I am an officer, I can just send them away if someone tries. Overhaul. I unbuttoned the top of my shirt to breathe easier. My eyes were glowing in green. And my hair was covering my eyes. Izuku. Well, why don't you come with me to my office and we can talk about it there. Overhaul. It was right at that moment he launched his right hand to my face and his gloves exploded mid-air, but I was ready for this as I grabbed it with my left hand, which was covered in armament Haki. He then launched his other hand to my face thinking I am stuck. Little did he know I don't even need my hands to catch him thanks to my quirk. I activated my quirk and sent his hand right back at him. As his hand touched his face I saw him covering his face with Haki to survive. Then he deactivated his quirk knowing he just lived thanks to his reflexes. So he really is a Haki user. However, so am I, and that is not the only ability I have. Under my shirt, even before he was going to attack, I was coating my pulmonary system with Haki, along with fusing it with my quirk. I was ready. He was locked in this position where he cannot do anything, and I had my triumph card with me. I began to blast my quirk as dark green glow was coming from my lungs to throat, then I blasted him with a dark green fire that made him scream in pain. It was powerful enough to melt steel in an instant. He tried to cover his body with armament, but mine was better. So it pierced through, burning him to ashes. Leaving nothing but the arm that I was grabbing and his lower body. Everything happened in an instant as I was standing there with Eerie on my arms, while Najire was just looking at me shocked, confused, and scared. It was understandable. Not only everything happened too fast for her, it was also very brutal. It wasn't her first mission for sure, but she was still a student. And most likely this could be the first time she saw someone died so fast and brutally right next to her. I called my men and gave them the address. I also called the rest of the group to this location. Then I informed them that I will be going to the nearest hospital. Izuku. It is over, Eerie-chan. He is gone for good now. He will never hurt you again. You are safe. I was patting Eerie on the head, who was still burying her head to my chest. She was also covering her ears this time. Then she looked at me. I gave her a good smile. She started to cry. I grabbed Najira gently and took her to the hospital with me. I was carrying her on my shoulder, which got her to blush madly. In the hospital I immediately asked for a doctor to check on the kid. Then I gave Najira a cup of fresh cold water. I was in the room with two girls when the doctor came. Eri was holding on to me. The doctor approached her, but she hid behind me. "It is okay, Eri, they are here for help." She was still hiding. I understood that she needed time. I got an idea. I decided to grab her and put her on my lap slowly. Then I looked at her. "It is okay. We can do this together. Trust me, I will not let any bad things happen to you. I will protect you." I hugged her gently and signaled the doctor to sit next to me to the opposite side. The doctor sat down and began the examination. It was horrible, her limbs were covered in scars. And there were a few scars on her neck as well. I could see her ribsage, no, I was able to see most of her bones as she was very skinny. She was not covered in too much dirt, but she still needed a bath. Then the doctor wanted to take a blood sample. The moment he pulled the needle, Eri tried to back away crying. She was scared. I hugged her more and told doctor to put the needle down with a serious tone. Doctor however told me that she needed a blood sample to check her vitamin levels since her skin was pale. I reluctantly agreed, but with a very serious tone I told him to make it as painless as possible. 1. I looked at Eri. "Izuku. Here, hold my hand and look at me." As I made a funny face to keep her occupied, then I used my quirk to levitate some of the objects to add to the image. While she was distracted, the doctor took a small sample of her blood. She was wandering in awe. Najira, who was silent the whole time, was giggling to my silliness. After the doctor left, she come next to me as well. 1. Third POW. After half an hour, the rest of the pro heroes come along with the students. They went inside the room. They saw Midoriya holding a little child and Najira was sitting next to them. Sir Night Eye immediately started talking. "Sir, Night Eye. Midoriya-san, what happened? We went to the address you told us to and found Overhaul's corpse. It was burned to a crisp. You did that. And who is this kid?" "Izuku. Well, Night Eye, this kid you see here is what they would call the rare ingredient for the quirk bullets. Here, take a good look at her arms and legs." They looked at her and they were disgusted by the scars that covered her, along with pale skin and skinny body. What were they doing to this girl? Eri just looked down and was a bit scared as well. "Izuku. Don't worry, Eri-chan, they are my partners, they are here to help me as well. They are heroes." "Eri? Ooh. Are you a hero too?" "Izuku. No sweetie, I am a marine. It is similar to heroes, but there are some differences." Night Eye. "So what happened, how did you manage to find her, Midoriya-san?" "Izuku. Well, we were patrolling around the city, then I sensed a weak presence running at me, then I heard her footsteps. Right after I grabbed her, Overhaul appeared. He claimed that she was her daughter, but it was obviously a lie. She was shaking and was afraid of him. So much that she was showing her head to my chest the whole time to make him stop, as he was nothing but a nightmare. Plus, as I questioned it more, he tried to avoid it with very basic answers, and as I asked more questions he was getting more and more angry and stressed. I stood on my guard and told him to come with me to my office. At that moment he attacked me, but I managed to catch his arm. Then you can guess what happened afterwards. Eraserhead. Yes, we found the leftovers. What is your quirk exactly? Izuku. Well, truth is I have two quirks. One is telekinesis. The other one is fire breathing. I managed to stop with my telekinesis and killed him with my fire. Gran Torino. Did you really had to kill him? Izuku. At that moment I was holding to Eri, so I did not want to take risks. Plus I was really pissed at him for what he did to this kid. He is lucky it was a quick death. 1. Izuku said the last sentence with a dark aura covering him, his hair was blocking his eyes. But you could clearly see them glowing with green energy. Which looked really scary. Izuku. No child ever deserves to be treated this way. No matter the reason is. His voice was deep and serious. Mirio. Well, anyway, at this point the most important question is, what should we do with this kid? Midnight. Does she have any family? This statement made Eri cry. They were all taken back by this. Izuku. Eri, what's wrong? Is something happened to your parents? Eri. I killed my dad. Everyone was taken back from this statement. Eri. I am C cursed. He told me IIWW as CC cursed. He told me T that no one will love me. He told me to not use my Q quirk or IW will kill everyone around me. Izuku. What is your quirk, Eri? Eri. He said rewind people. He told me to never use my Q quirk or I kill everyone I touch. He told me I am a M monster. Now Izuku was really pissed, and this time he wasn't able to hide it. His Haki got out, which caused the glass to shatter. His quirk also got wild and cracked the ceiling and the walls. Once he was calm he looked back at Eri who was scared. So was everyone else. Izuku. No Eri, you are not cursed, you are not a monster either. You are a sweet little girl who deserved better than this. He was the real monster here. He lied to you and he abused you. Look at me. I told you I was a marine, right? My job is to fight monsters just like him, and you are nothing like a monster. And your quirk. It is a blessing, not a curse. He just gently grabbed Eri and hugged her, then he used his fire quirks, put a blanket made from fire around her. But they were not burning her, if anything it was just warm. Izuku. You said no one will love you. Guess what, I will love you. I will take care of you as my child. What do you say, or do you want me to be your dad? Eri. IW will be good, I promise. Please don't leave me, don't send me back please. Izuku. Don't say something like that. I will never do that, Eri, and don't worry, no one will come and hurt you again. Because I am here for you. One. Izuku said with a kind smile. This statement made Eri smile as well. Rest of the room had smiles on their faces thanks to seeing this wholesome moment. Mirio was grossly crying, Midnight, Najire and Mountain Lady were blushing madly and had tears in their eyes. Izuku approached to the girls. At that moment the doctor returned. Doctor? Okay, so her blood test is finished. She need a lot of vitamin C and D since it seems like she was locked in a room with no windows. Plus she needs to gain some mass as well as some more muscle. Other than that there are no physical issue. So she is good to go. Izuku. Thank you so much, doctor. Okay, so I need one of you to come with me to the city hall so that we can sign the adoption documents. Midnight, what about you, want to come with me? Midnight. Sure, let's go, then we can go for shopping to get this little angel some clothes. And something to eat. Time skipped to afternoon. Izuku's POW. Here we are. The city hall. I was in my standard uniform waiting for Midnight to arrive since she went to her house to change to regular clothes. She arrived with jeans and a white blouse with a blue jacket. We went straight to the part where they had the adoption papers. I was wearing my marine uniform so they just let us in. After filling the paperwork, I legally become Eri's father and Midnight become her mother. After that we went straight to the mall. At first we searched for a restaurant to eat something. I ordered katsudon for myself, Midnight ordered chicken for herself, then we ordered burgers for the kid. She really liked the meal. After eating it, she had a satisfied look on her face which made me really happy. 1. We went for the shopping area to get her some new clothes. Midnight straight up took her and managed to grab every clothes she thought that would look cute on her. Eventually they picked all of them while Eri was wearing one of the sets. I was carrying the rest of them. Eri was wearing a red outfit with white shirt, along with black pants with brown boots, she also had a red bag hanging on her shoulder. She was looking cute indeed. As we were walking we passed a shop that had apples on it. Eri was looking at apples. I nodded at Midnight then looked at Eri. Izuku. Eri, do you like apples? Eri. Yes, I love apples, they are really sweet. Izuku. Oh, have you ever tried in candy apple? It is even sweeter. She looked at me drooling, well that settles it, I went to the nearest candy shop to pick 3 candy apple for all of us. When we got out of the mall I showed them to Eri. She looked at them with stars in her eye. When she took a bite to it she made a smile only a 5 years old can make. Eri. It is even sweeter than normal apples. That moment almost made me cry. It was the time to say goodbye to Midnight. As we waved our hand we went for our new home. At the home. Izuku. Here we are, Eri, this is where you will be living. For now you sleep in my bed. Eri. Where will you sleep, Dad? That statement took me back a bit. Did she just call me Dad? Oh god, I am a dad now. 2. Izuku. Well sweetie, I don't worry about me. I looked up while trying to cover my eyes for the tears of joy. Eri. Okay, Dad. Yawn. Izuku. Oh, I see, it is time for bed. Alright, let's get your pajamas. And brush our teeth. Eri. Okay, Dad. I took her to bathroom then got her pajamas. Then she want to sleep. Well, I was in my office making the reports about today. Then I was going to call the headquarters to inform them about the mission. Then I was personally going to call Fleet Admiral Dragon about Eri and her quirk. It is good to tell the old man about the newest addition to the family. I am sure old man Garp would buy the earliest ticket to come here just to see her. When I finished the reports it was about 1 a.m. About a couple minutes later I heard screams. Intruders. I grabbed my sword and rushed to the room ready to slice whoever it was. I saw Eri lying on the bed crying. I dropped the sword and looked at her. Izuku. What happened, Eri? Eri, I saw him, he was back, he killed you, then Izuku. It is okay, Eri. It was just a bad dream. Like I said, he is gone for good. Now try to sleep. You are tired. Eri. I am scared, Dad. Can you stay with me? Izuku. Of course, sweetie. Of course. I turned off the light and decided to sleep. The bed was a king-size bed, so it was big enough for both of us. We both fell asleep while cuddling. After a couple of weeks Eri was in better condition. Both physically and mentally. She gained some weight and her vitamin levels were normal again. She smiled more and more. And seemed like she was ready for a normal life. She still had the scars, but at this point they were not bothering her anymore, now that she saw that her dad also has scars on his arms and legs as well. It was around the first week of them living together, Eri was having problems with her arms and legs covered in scars. She found them gross and creepy looking, which made her sad. But it changed when his dad removed his top and revealed her all of the scars he got over the last many years. He had all kinds of scars. Most of his forearms were covered in burns, and his torso was not better, along with the rest of his arms. She was looking at them in awe. Flashback. Izuku. Look at me, Eri. These ones on my forearms are burn marks. These ones on my shoulders are bullet wounds. This one was an arrow. This was frostbite. Rest are just cutting and fractures. This one was a monster's bite. I got them over the years I officially worked as a Marine and even before I was a full-fledged Marine. I got them because I took my job very seriously. I did my best to save people. No matter how bad they may look, I am proud to carry them. Look, the scar on my face, it was the one I am proud of the most. So, it is okay for you to have them. For you, it shows that you are here. You survived all of the horrible things they have done to you. And you are going to live no matter what. And that is something you don't have to feel bad about, alright? Eri was looking at him in awe. Then she began to cry while hugging him. He just patted her head gently. Flashback ends. Now it was time for her first day in school. Before entering, Izuku also decided to go with her to talk her teacher. Izuku POW. After giving some thought and asking my family about some tips and ideas, I decided to enroll her to a nearby kindergarten. It was about few kilometers away to where I lived. It should take about 10 to 15 minutes by car. It wasn't a private school for very rich families, but it was a bit more luxurious compared to a public kindergarten. It could be considered at something in the middle. Which is just perfect for her, she can encounter people with more different backgrounds and can have a good circle of friends. Her quirk, however, was the only problem. For some reason she failed to activate her quirk, which made her horn look quite small. For now, it was a good thing. If her quirk is as strong as I think it is, then it is good for her to not show it to other children. It would still be better to talk with her teacher though. That way she can keep a good eye on Eri. As we were walking down the hallway, I went straight to the principal's office. She was with me the whole time. Although she was happy, she still wasn't used to seeing new people, so she was holding on to me the whole time. I knocked the door and entered the room with Eri behind me. Izuku. Good morning, principal. I am Officer Izuku Midoriya from the Quirk Navy. We have talked from phone before. I am here to drop Eri, but before she goes to the class, I would like to talk with you and her teachers about certain things I mentioned over the phone. Principal. Good morning, sir. Yes, we did talk indeed. Hold on, let me call her teachers, then we can discuss the matter you mentioned. Izuku. That would be great, thank you. After 2 minutes, 2 women came into the office. One of them had black hair reaching her shoulders with blue eyes. She was wearing a long green skirt, a white shirt and a yellow jacket. She seemed young, maybe in her early to mid-20s, and she also seemed not very experienced. Because she was nervous and could break down in tears with the tiniest push. The other one seemed more like the opposite. She had white hair with a little bit of red. She had gray eyes, wearing glasses and a rather cheerful smile. She was wearing a white shirt, blue jeans, brown shoes and a peach-colored cardigan. She brought books with her to take notes. She seemed experienced and eager to deal with the situation's principal. Ah, here they are. Mr. Midoriya, these 2 are going to be her teachers. This is Kumari Akoma. She is new here, so I think it will be a great chance for her to get some experience. The other one is Fayumi Todoroki. She is more experienced when it comes to kids and she will be assisting Kumari. I stood up to shake their hands. They both looked at me with a bit fear in their eyes. Especially Ms. Akoma, she seemed very intimidated by my size. Can't really blame her considering the difference in our heights. Ms. Todoroki was also a bit intimidated, but she was able to hide it better. I decided to crouch down a bit and put a smile. Then I raised my hand to shake theirs. Ms. Fayumi was the one to shake first. Then following her example, Ms. Akoma decided to shake my hand as well. Eri was right next to me. She was basically hiding behind me when the 2 women came closer. Izuku. Don't worry, Eri, they are good people. They are going to take care of you here. They will teach you things you didn't know. Eri. Really, Dad? Izuku. Yes, they will, sweetie. Now come here and look at them. They are kind people. Then I turned to them. I lifted Eri up so that she can see them better. She smiled a bit. Then I put her down. Izuku. Is it a pleasure to meet both of you? As you know, there is a reason why I called both of you here. I also want the principal to hear this. Now Eri, could you wait outside for a few minutes? Eri? Okay dad. Izuku? Good job my little Drake. Eri left the room as I went straight to the topic. Izuku? Everyone, first of all, I thank you for taking your time to listen. The topic I wanted to talk about is Eri's quirk. First of all, I would like to tell you that I am not her biologic father. I adopted her about a month ago when I managed to rescue her from a villain who was basically abusing her and her quirk. When it comes to her quirk, it is somewhat of a mystery even to me. I know what it can do, but I am not completely certain about its limit. From what she said to me when I rescued her, her quirk is an extremely powerful one. Possibly one of the most powerful quirks of her generation. Before you say anything, it is not destructive or flashy like emitting fire, light or electricity or something. However, it can still be considered around the same tier. Once trained properly, I can easily classify her as the world's greatest healer or rescue hero if she chooses to become one. The problem with it being that she is not able to control it yet. Also, sometime in the future I will personally take her to the Quirk Navy headquarters myself to fully examine the full capabilities of her quirk. The other thing being is that this villain did thing to her that left physical scars around her arms and legs, also a few tiny ones on her neck. I am not going to give details, but there is that. So, I am begging you to be patient with her. I also would like you to inform me if something happens to her or her quirk. This kid has suffered enough and I will make sure she will have a happy and a normal life. I said the last few sentences while bowing. Fayumi? Of course sir. We are more than happy to help you. Thank you for informing us about her situation. Fayumi said while bowing as well. Izuku? If you need anything, this is my contact information. Call me if something happens. And if you need, I am more than willing to help you out in any way I can. It can be funds, it can be mental support, or I can even assign some extra soldiers around here for patrol. Principal. Oh no, that is too kind sir, we can't really take that. Plus, this is a rather good part of the town. Villain attacks don't really happen here. For your daughter, our school offers quirk counseling for children with wild quirks. It is basically to help them understand their abilities and the things they can do. Izuku? I see, yes, that seems helpful. One more thing. You can understand what is happening to her quirk by looking at the horn on her head. Right now, it shrunk down a lot. If you see noticeable changes on her horn, just call me. Fayumi? Yes, we will. I called Eri back in the room. Izuku? Alright Eri, these two are your teachers, they will be taking you to your new classroom, okay? There you will be meeting new people around your age. Eri? Really? Izuku? Yes, and it will be fun. For now, just follow these two ladies, okay? Eri? Yes dad. 1. Izuku? Alright, that settles it. I take my leave then. Have a good day. Time skip to the afternoon. I was walking around, I didn't want to do paperwork, so I decided to go on a patrol. First of all, it was a good excuse to delay the inevitable. Second, I was too nervous for that since this was Eri's first day in school. When it was around 3 p.m. I heard a noise. When I decided to check what it was, I saw what is best described as a crime scene. About 4 people. One boy who is looking beaten and covered in dirt, and 3 girls got stuck in a dead end. They were on the ground with nowhere to run. Girl on the left had pink hair passing her shoulder and yellow cross-like eyes. It could be her quirk, she was wearing weird glasses on her head, types that I haven't seen since I was bodyguarding Vegapink's assistants about a year ago. Is she an inventor or something? She was wearing a black tank top on the top and school skirt on the bottom. She seems like she had tied her school uniform around her waist because of the hot weather. She seemed thin and decently athletic. She probably works out sometimes. She seemed short. She was at max 1.60 meters. The girl in the right had blonde hair, which she made 2 messy buns on each side of her head. She had yellow eyes and really sharp and long canines which made her look like a vampire. She was also wearing a school uniform similar to the rest of the girls. She was kinda blushing, but also afraid, which was weird considering the position. She had mud all over her and was holding a knife at the villain to make her go away. However, she was failing miserably. The last girl in the middle also had pink hair. But she also had pink skin with black yellow eyes with small horns. She also had school uniforms with a school bag on her hand. She seemed like she was around the same height as the other girl with pink hair. She was decently muscular and very slim. She was wearing trainers and tight shorts under the skirt. I literally was able to taste the fear from them. As they were all on the ground with their backs on the wall while this creepy Mithurfriaker was basically covering all of their means of escape. This villain was holding the boy who was covered in bruises and mud. He had messy black long hair and dark skin. He also had very long tongue and pointy ears. His hair was looking like a wet tuft. He was wearing a fur coat, red pants, and a way too long-sleeved shirt for his size. He had a very creepy smile. And was waving his tongue everywhere. He was really tall, but his very weak-looking body was basically concealing it. Wait, those tufts-looking hair. This guy seems familiar. 1. It hit me harder than Kizera's light kicks. Isn't this guy was arrested years ago? What is he doing here? Has he somehow escaped? I enhanced my body with telekinesis. Then I pulled out my long sword and covered it with Haki. Then I appeared right behind the guy. Don't worry girls, I am not really planning on hurting you. What good comes from damaging the merchandise? Oh come on. Don't feel so bad, it is more fun than you think. Plus, this miserable guy needs some cash. Don't you want to be heroes? They help people, right? Come on then, why don't you help me as well? The girls were just crying at this point. One in the middle was closing her eyes, hoping for the best and trying to brace herself from this asshole. He was coming even closer. Right when he raised his hand up to grab the girl on the middle, I stabbed him in the arm, which caused him to fall on his knees, crying for pain. He also dropped the boy he was holding. I caught him with my quirk and put him next to a wall. Ooh. Who the freak was Tha? Izuku, wow. And here I thought you were rotting in jail. I don't know how you managed to escape, but at this point I don't care. You know why? I was already feeling nervous and now I am going to take it out, all of it from you. Was looking down at him, my eyes were covered in Haki and were glowing in green aura. My enhancement also caused my eyes to be covered in green, vein-looking lines that made me look like a monster. My hair was spiking up. You could see the veins on my forehead and they were glowing. I was smiling and had a tick on my head. Www wait why you are. Izuku, it has been a while, hasn't it? Wet-haired caribou. Do. I said with an evil smirk. Then I grabbed his head and slammed him to the ground. Then I grabbed my blade, which was still stuck on his arm, then pulled it off really roughly. He was just screaming on the ground. Then I punched him straight on the face, which made him unconscious. After that I just grabbed the nearby trash can, dumped it out and put the creep in it. It was metal, so I was able to weld it shut. Then I looked at the girls, who were very scared. They slowly realized what just happened. Izuku. Come with me girls, don't worry, you are safe now. I said with a reassuring smile. They were looking at me with big smiles on their faces, knowing they were saved. I grabbed the trash can and the injured boy, then walked to the street. Once we were on a safe spot, I called some teams to take this creep to custody. Then I put the injured boy on the ground, pulled out my first aid kit and began to treat him. He had a few broken bones and many bruises. And a few cuts with bullet wounds. They were not bleeding much and were also non-lethal. Still, it must be painful. After 10 minutes the Marines and police arrived. They took the guy to custody. And took the kid to the hospital. The girls were more shaken than injured, so there was nothing they could do. I decided to deal with them since they would need to relax a bit. Izuku. Okay girls, come with me, they nodded. Then I took them to a nearby park. Izuku. Stay here, I will be back for a moment. Then I went to the nearest cafe to get something to drink. I just grabbed the drinks and went back to the girls. Izuku. Alright, here you go. This should help you to feel calm. It is okay sir, I am calm. Said the pink girl with horns. Izuku. Girl, we all know you are not. As a matter of fact, I can still see you shaking. So, take it. It is okay, this was most likely your first time and you will be needing this. I said while putting my hand on her shoulder. She took the tea from my hand and drank it. It was warming her up, which put a small blush on her face. She smiled, showing that she was feeling better. She was shaking less. The other two girls were also in the same situation, they drank from their tea as well and started to relax a bit. Izuku. So, girls, what happened exactly? Well. We were walking back home, then Himiko noticed that we were being followed. She was carrying a knife, so we thought that we could use that. Kirishima was also willing to fight, but before we know it, we were cornered in that alleyway. He tried to fight back, but Izuku. His attacks went through him. Why yes, same with her. Then I tried to use my quirk, but the same thing happened. I thought this was it. It was so scary. Thank you so much, mister. How did you know that? And how were you able to stab him when I could not? Izuku. First of all, I knew the guy, he is an international smuggler and slave trader. He has kidnapped many men and even more women, then he sold them in auction houses. I thought he was captured, but it seems like he has escaped somehow. For the second question, there are ways to do it. First method would be finding the weakness of the quirk and focusing on that. But in many cases, it is near impossible to do, knowing how random some quirks can get. Second method is basically using Haki. What is Haki? Izuku. Well, it is kinda complicated to explain, but it is basically this. I coated my arm with Haki and showed it to them. Wait sir, isn't that is your quirk? Izuku. No, my quirk is telekinesis. Well, I actually have two quirks, but this is not one of them. Here, let me show you. Then I picked up the cups they were holding with it, then I breathed a bit of fire from my mouth. They were amazed to see that, then the blonde girl asked. Then how are you doing that arm thing? That black substance that covered your arm? Izuku. That, like I said, is Haki. It is basically another form of power that exists in this world. It kinda works like a quirk, but it is different. Literally every human being has it. Or even animals can use it if you somehow manage to train them. Or they just do it with instinct. Unlike a quirk which manifests during childhood, Haki stays dormant for the most part and it is extremely difficult to awaken it. It is almost deadly. Sometimes people train it for their entire lives just to be able to use it and they may still fail. However, once it is unlocked, I say it may be even a better power than quirks themselves. There are quite a lot of people who mostly have useless quirk in the Navy but can still defeat some of the strong pro heroes just because they trained themselves in the ways of Haki. They were shocked to hear this. I never heard of something like this. Is it really a thing? I never seen a pro use this before either. Izuku. Yeah, pro heroes these days don't really use it anymore. Like I said, it is very difficult to achieve. Training is considered deadly in many nations and is even banned for those under 18. Even UA is not teaching it. Well, they want to, but the Ministry of Education is not allowing them. In Navy it is mandatory to be able to use it if you want to reach higher ranks, therefore, I can use it. They looked at me amazed. After couple seconds of looking at me with awe, the blonde one asked. So this means I can still be a hero even with my quirk. Izuku. Technically, if you gonna as me, you don't even need a quirk to be a hero to begin with. It is all depends on how much you train your body and your mind. True, a powerful quirk is important, but it is not everything. I see quirks as tools rather than a part of myself. I use it, I train it to make it powerful, but I don't rely on it. What is your quirk anyway? It is blood transformation. I can transform into people by drinking their blood. Izuku. Now that's so cool, you know. I know a shit ton of people who would just kill for that power. You would do great in Cipher Pole. 1. I said with a smile. She smiled back at me. Thank you, sir, no one ever said that to me. She said with a happy smile and a big blush. Izuku. I see. Well, it is getting late and I need to pick up someone. So, my name is Izuku Midoriya. What are yours? My name is Mina Shido, sir. The girl with the pink skin. My name is Mei Hatsum. Girl with pink hair and yellow eyes. And my name is Himiko Toga, sir. The blonde girl with vampire teeth. Izuku. Good to meet you girls. I say aim for the best. Try to apply UA if you want to be great heroes. And never forget, being a hero is a matter of character, effort and ambition and nothing else. With that I take my leave. With that I left the girls to pick Yuri back. I used my quirk to move faster. And used moonwalk to avoid traffic. At this point I was almost flying on the sky. Thanks to my speed I managed to arrive in 5 minutes. It seems like I was right on time. The kids were leaving the school. I landed on the ground to pick him up. 1. Eri. Hi dad. Izuku. Hi Eri. I am here to pick you up. Well, come here, since I did not come here with a car, we are walking home. Or if you want, I can fly us there. Which one do you want to choose? Eri. I want to walk, dad. Izuku. Okay, let's walk then. It was now around 5 p.m. that we returned home. I decided to cook Eri some noodles and I was making katsudon for myself. Izuku. So Eri, how was your first day? Eri. It is great, dad, people be kind to me. I played with them and I have a new friend now. Izuku. Oh, that is great, sweetie, what is her name? Eri. Her name is Satsuki. We played with toys and she taught me how to play tag. Izuku. Oh really, that's good to hear. What else happened? Eri. Well, I got to draw this picture. Want to see? Izuku. Okay, let's see. She showed me a rather colorful sketch of her and me. Midnight was also there. It was not the best drawing, but it was clear that she tried to draw us. Which made me almost cry. I took a picture of it and sent it to my knight. Who then sent back a smile and a heart emoji. The same night I decided to write the report about the incident while she was sleeping. A day later. I dropped Eri to school and went for my office. Then I started to think about what happened yesterday. That boy with black hair did surprisingly well yesterday. Caribou was not a high-tier fighter. Hell, I would argue he is a bit of a clown. After all, Lojas who think they are invincible don't live long. However, that was nevertheless an impressive act of heroism. At least for a middle school student with probably no fighting experience. Maybe I should visit him if he is still in the hospital. I first went back to my office and took the report of the incident. But that said, I went to hospital to see the guy at the hospital. I asked the nurse about a student that got here yesterday. Nurse. Oh, that student is awake and resting in the 3rd floor. Here, this is the number. Izuku. Thank you. But that I proceed to the room. Once I entered, I saw him. He was awake, eating his breakfast with one hand. The other one was broken. He was also covered in bunch of bandages. One of his eyes were covered in them too. I was able to see the other one, he had red eyes. The moment he saw me, he stopped eating as the food dropped from his mouth to the bowl. He widens his eyes and tried to stay still. Izuku. Don't worry, you can stay there. And you can keep eating. So, are you Ijiro Kirishima? Kirishima. Why yes sir I am. I have heard from the nurse that we were saved by a marine. Are you the marine that saved us from that villain? Izuku. Yes, I am. Not going to lie, what you did back there was pretty reckless. Caribou is not really a strong opponent to beat if you know how to beat him, but trying to fight him is not something I would expect from a middle school student. Kirishima. I didn't want to sit there and do nothing. Like the last time. Last time? Something happened to this kid. Maybe I should dig into this as. Izuku. I see. I already got the testimony of your friends, but I also want to hear it from you. Kirishima. Okay sir. One explanation later. Izuku. So, you have used your quirk in public knowing full well that you would be punished for it to use your quirk for your classmates. Kirishima. I am so sorry sir, what I did was wrong, but. Izuku. There is nothing to apologize. In fact, I am proud of you. You were the true hero that day, not me. And I have a proposition to you. You seem to have a decent quirk. Here, this is my phone number. Call me when you are in a better condition. Kirishima. Why yes, sir. Izuku. Oh, and by the way, I am Izuku Midoriya. Nice to meet you Kirishima. Call me Izuku or Midoriya. I don't really like people calling me sir if it is not a special occasion. Kirishima. Yes sir. I mean Midoriya-san. Bird Pav. As Izuku left, Kirishima took a deep sigh. Wow, that guy looks really manly, especially that scar. If he was able to take that villain down, he must be strong. I wonder what he wants from me, Kirishima was thinking while he was eating his food. About an hour later, the nurse came with a doctor. Doctor? So young man, we checked everything and I believe you can leave. However, you must still rest for at least a week or two. Kirishima. I see. Thank you so much doctor. The weekend. There is nothing Izuku could have done at that moment. No need for a report or no reports to sign. Neither villains to take down. So he decided to take Yuri to a mall. As they were walking around the mall, he saw the playing area. When they reached, they saw a playground. It was bigger than he thought. She was playing in the sandbox while he was reading a book and taking notes. He himself was in his formal suit but was carrying his marine coat in a backpack. He was also carrying some weapons in it like an army knife and a metal wire that he sometimes used with his telekinesis. As he was reading, he got the feeling of people looking at him while whispering among themselves. Some seemed intimidated, some were just looking at him with awe, and some had lustful looks. My god, he looks scary. Is he single? I hope he is. Damn, he looks strong. I want him. Around 15 minutes later, he saw a group of familiar faces coming close to him. It was Mitsuki and Kitsumi. Mitsuki. Oh Izuku, good to see you here. How have you been? Izuku. I am good, Aunt Mitsuki. Thank you. You are getting groceries. Mitsuki. Oh yes, looks like I did the right choice bringing you here with me. What do you say, Kitsumi? She said with a grin on her face. Kitsumi just looked at her angrily. She was also blushing. Kitsumi. Shut up, old hag. Mitsuki. Ha, who are you calling an old hag? Izuku. Ha, good to see you, lovely as ever, Kitsumi. While he was talking with them, he was still able to hear the conversations. He heard some of them getting jealous. The intimidated ones seemed to calm down a bit after seeing him talk. Kitsumi. Shut up, Deku. Izuku. Deku. Kitsumi. Oh, I meant. Izuku. Did you just gave me a nickname? Never been called that before. Are we giving each other nicknames now? Maybe I should call you something as well. How about Kaken? Izuku say it with a smile and pat her head. At that moment she was blushing even more. Oh, it seems like you liked it. Okay, how about I call you that from now on? Oh, At that moment she was saved by a little girl walking to them. Dad. I made a sand castle. Do you wanna see? One. Mitsuki and Kitsumi were just shocked to hear that first word. They just looked at him and yelled odd. Izuku. Oh right, this is the first time you guys meet. Auntie, Kaken meet Eri, my daughter. I adopted her about 6 weeks ago. Eri say hey to Auntie Mitsuki and big sis Kitsumi. Eri. Hi, I am Eri, nice to meet you, miss. She backed away a bit. But she was not hiding behind me anymore. Mitsuki. Wow, you adopted her? How did that happen? Izuku. I rescued her from a villain. And since she had nowhere to go and was kinda attached to me, I decided to take care of her. He said with a serious voice. Mitsuki. Oh, I see, that is so sweet of you, Izuku. I am proud. Izuku? Yeah, I have a soft spot to kids in her position. Well, she is still having a bit of troubles around other people, but she getting better. Mitsuki? I see. Well, good for you. It seems like you are doing a good job. Izuku? Yeah, I am doing my best. She is kinda like how I used to be, but also not quite. Speaking of her, Eri, where is the sand castle you made? Eri, oh, it's right here. As they looked at it, they saw someone else already playing on the sand. She looked down for a second, but then Izuku spoke to her. Izuku? Well, it is okay, you can make another one in another time. Eri? Okay, Dad. Mitsuki? She's so cute. You should let us spend time with her, Izuku. Izuku? That is kinda up to her at this point. But what do you guys say, wanna hang out together right now? I can help you with the bags, and I also have a car. Mitsuki? Oh, that would be good, thank you. As they were walking around the mall, they visited some shops. After a while they sat on a restaurant when Eri got hungry. She ate some noodles, and Izuku was rather hungry at that moment. He ate at least 7 people worth katsudon and salad. Do. Pitsumi. How do you eat this much? Izuku. Well, I did not eat enough in breakfast, so I am fueling the tank now. Pitsumi. Oh, okay. Izuku. Well, I am done for now, let me go for us. Mitsuki. Oh, no need, Izuku, I can pay for us. Izuku. Nope, not hearing anything from you. I am gonna pay everything. And we both, now you cannot stop me. Izuku said while laughing. What a gentleman, Mitsuki thought to herself. Mitsuki. So be it. But I will get back to you for that, you got that. Izuku. Sure, we will see. After he paid for the meal, they decided to leave. On their way back to the car, Izuku sensed something was up. He stopped in his tracks and looked for what he sensed. He instantly grabbed his backpack to wear his uniform, then he also pulled out his equipments. Izuku. Okay, get inside the car, I will be right back. Then dashed away and jumped really high. When he arrived to the scene to see a robbery happening on the shopping part of the mall. There were 3 people. One of them were holding a gun and a hostage, while the other 2 were trying to steal whatever they can from what seems to be jewelry shop. Izuku used moonwalk to stay on the air. Then he used Soru to got closer to the guy with the hostage. It was too late for the robber since Izuku was already right next to him grabbing his arm. By the time he realized what was happening, Izuku sent him to a wall, cracking it. Then other 2 tried to move, but he threw one of his knife at one of them, stabbing him on the shoulder, then pulled the knife out with his quirk and sent it to the other guy. As the result of a dagger leaving his body very fast and painfully, the first guy fell on the ground in pain, then he passed out. Second guy got stabbed in the stomach, but not in a lethal spot. It still hurt like hell though. He was on the ground as well. It happened too fast for everyone to understand what was going on. Izuku then noticed the guy he launched to the wall trying to escape. He coated his hand with Haki, that took a position to send a flying Shigen to his legs, causing him to fall in the ground. He used the wire to tie up the guys. While doing that, the crowd was cheering. Some realized him from the guy in the playground. Wow, that's the guy from earlier. He was a marine. No wonder he looks tough. Wow, that explains the scary scar. Glad he was here, this could have ended badly. About 5 minutes later the police came. They took the guys and he left. Once going back to his car, the girls asked what happened. Izuku. Oh, I just sensed some bad auras, then I wanted to check it out, finding out there was a robbery. I just took care of it. Now the police is dealing with it, so I could leave. Pitsumi. It hasn't even been 10 minutes. How did you do that so fast? Izuku. Well, I am used to it, plus the guys were kind of amateurs, so it did not took me a long time. As he was driving, I noticed Katsumi was kinda playing with Eri. It put a smile on his face. Mitsuki also noticed this, and he had his own smile. Mitsuki. Looks like you are gonna be a good mom in the future, Katsumi. Katsumi. What the hell was that, you old hag? Mitsuki. Hahaha, I am just saying, why bother so much? She was still smirking while Izuku is driving. After some time they arrived at Bakugo residence. He dropped them off and went back to his house. At that time it was somewhere around 7 p.m. Izuku started to read her some child books with Eri, then they watched some movies on TV. Finally they decided to call it a day. That night Izuku finished the report for the mall incident and decided to sleep. Thanks for watching, guys, make sure to leave a like, share and subscribe. Also don't forget to check out author of this story. All details in description.